Good evening, everyone. This is Eric Kincaid, Superintendent of the Fairview School District, and I'm here tonight to try to share some information with all of our families to give you some insight on where we are at this time during these very unprecedented times in public education, where we are at the Fairview School District. Let me start by saying that there are no perfect plans. We know that. Our plan moving forward here is not perfect, and we certainly don't suggest otherwise. However, despite the conditions, I'm feeling very good, very energized actually, for our school community. The last couple of days here at school with the administrative team and several teachers on conference calls and stopping in and emails, etc., have been very uplifting. And I think that as a district, we have a very good plan moving forward. I'm very moved by the number of teachers and aides and support staff and administrators and school board members and community members that have come forward to say, how can we help? What can we do? And we're enlisting the help of all of those people, or some of those people at least, as best we can. And we are trying to come up with a plan moving forward that makes good sense for our community. Let me start by saying also that there is no clear direction right now. I've been holding on making this video for several days and even today several hours, just because I'm waiting for direction from the state, from the Department of Education. And right now it's trickling in, but it's not 100% clear on what the expectations for schools are. What we do know is that we were told to try our very best to educate our students. And so that's what we're going to do. We're going to try our very best. We are committed as a school district to getting our students the education that they deserve. We're committing to not extending the school year beyond our scheduled date. And most importantly, we're committed to graduating all of our seniors on time. And I'll address that a little bit later in some of the frequently asked questions. We recognize that as a school district in Fairview, that we are the hub of the community. This is where most of the action in the district, in the township, takes place in terms of activities and events and sporting and extracurricular activities and music and theater and all those sorts of things. We recognize that. We recognize the responsibility, and we take that's a responsibility that we take very seriously. And we are going to try our best to continue doing the great work that we do. Fortunately, we have, in my opinion, maybe biased, but fortunately we have, I think, the very best folks in the business to deliver that instruction to you and our teachers and our support staff. Our goal right now is simply to educate the best we can under the circumstances. That's our goal. We're going to push out as much of the curriculum as we can, grades K through 12, and our teachers and our support staff are going to try their very best to get that material to our students and in a way that our students can understand, comprehend, and absorb moving forward. We do have, we've mentioned this a couple of times in emails and other correspondence, we do have some wireless hotspots that are available to our families. If you have sketchy internet at home or not good service, we could help you with that. We do have some available. We've distributed lots of them, and we had a limited number. So if that is a concern that you have, please reach out to your building principal, and either Dr. Horn, Mr. Farringer, or Dr. Lane at the high school could take care of you and help you with that. Also, if for some reason your child doesn't have his or her iPad right now, let us know that as well so we can get that into your hands. We can certainly either open the school for you or make a delivery if necessary. One thing that we've been talking about the last few days is no public school right now is in great shape. Obviously, this is a difficult time. I would say, though, that because of our infrastructure, because of our one-to-one iPad initiative that we have in place, we may be in better position than some others around us. We're just very fortunate that that's something that we've invested in and that this community has embraced. And we're going to use that. We have it at our disposal and we're going to use that. So with that said, we are going to continue our online distance learning and try the very best we can. Please know that by the time you watch this video, what I've said already and what I may say here in the next couple of minutes could be outdated. Information is literally changing. I was saying by the hour, but now it's changing in 15-minute increments. We're learning new things. Emails are pouring in from the intermediate unit and the state and the governor's office and the Secretary of Education. So we're trying our best to keep people up to date and informed. Just a couple of things that we know for sure. PSSA and Keystone tests are canceled for this year. One less stressor for everyone, certainly one less stressor for our students and our teachers and for our administrative staff as well. So PSSAs, Keystones, PASA, any of those exams are canceled. Also, that would carry over to our technical school students. The NOCD tests are also canceled for this year. A reminder also that lunches are available every day. That form is on Schoology. If you'd like to sign up for a lunch for your child, we encourage you to do that. We've been averaging about 90 lunches per day, which is good, and we're happy that we can do that, and we'll continue to do that for any Fairview student who needs a lunch. And please take advantage of that. Whether you're a free and reduced lunch student or not, those lunches are available to every student in the district at no cost, and we're happy to continue to do that. And really, kudos to our food service department, who's done just an outstanding job of preparing and delivering those lunches every day this week, and will continue in the weeks ahead. Another item of importance is athletics. I can tell you that there is no official word yet from the PIAA on athletics. All that we know right now is that we're not allowed to practice in any capacity, whether on or off campus. However, we're certainly encouraging our student athletes, and all of our students for that matter, to try to stay healthy and exercise and do what they can do to better themselves and their physical selves, both with sport and without. Another thing that we want to mention is field trips. At this point, I think it's probably safe to say that we're going to consider field trips canceled at this point in time, unless something major changes in the next couple of weeks. Mr. Farringer has already announced the cancellation of the DC trip. We're working on canceling coach buses that we had lined up for some other trips, and I just don't anticipate that field trips are going to be allowed to happen moving forward. So it's probably best at this point to consider those canceled. If we can reschedule at some point in the future, we will certainly do that. I want to talk about distance learning, our online distance learning, and what that's going to look like. And I realize I'm already 7 minutes in, so I'll try to move quickly here. So here's our plan. Our teachers are going to push out material, content, curriculum via Schoology. For students in grades K and 1, that'll be through Seesaw. If you need refreshers on that, again, please reach out to our administrative staff. They're happy to help you on how to access those web applications. There is no expectation at this point of our teachers or our students covering 100% of the content and curriculum. That's simply an unrealistic expectation. That's not going to happen. This is the new reality for us, and understand and appreciate that this is all new. I hate to use this phrase, but we are sort of building this plane as we fly. It's not something that we're prepared for necessarily. It's not something that our staff and students signed up for sure. But we're going to try our very best. And so no expectation of 100% of the curriculum. We're going to get in what we think is the core material, core content that our students need to know here moving forward, at least for the next week or so. Students are not expected to log in at 8 a.m. and work till 3 p.m. straight through. There are no set hours, actually, for that matter. We are simply asking that our students log in daily at their convenience and complete assignments and tasks that the teachers put out there. I think it's safe to say that your teachers will not be giving you what some people might refer to as busy work. They're going to give you work that's relevant and that makes good sense for where you left off in your course and where you would hope to end by the end of the school year. Here's one thing that's going to be very different for our students and our staff, but we think is very important to implement moving forward. Our grading procedures are going to change. We will be moving from our percentage grade system that we've historically done here in the district, and we're going to be moving to what we're going to refer to as a pass, fail, zero model. a pass, fail, zero model. And here's what that means. Here's a summary of what that means. If you earn a grade on an assignment that would score a 70% or higher, that will be a pass. If you earn a grade on assignment that would have scored a lower than 70%, a 69% or lower, that will be a fail. If you do not attempt or fail to turn in an assignment or do an assignment, that will be a zero. So pass, fail, zero. How are those going to be marked in the grade book? They're going to be marked like this. A pass, if you receive a score that would have received a 70% or higher, a pass will go into the teacher's grade book as a 100%. If you receive a grade that would have been a failing grade, it just didn't meet the minimum requirements to pass, to receive a 70, that will go into the grade book as a 69%. If you fail to do an assignment or fail to complete an assignment, that will be a zero. So pass, fail, zero is a really good opportunity for our students to not worry about what grade they receive, but rather just absorb the material, understand the material as best they can, and give it their best shot. And provided that our students give an effort and try to learn and do the very best, it should be very beneficial in terms of grades and receiving 100% on your assignments. Obviously, as you can see, we're not completely concerned with how you score at this time. Grades are probably more important to students than they are to us, and they're certainly not the focus right now. The focus right now is on learning. The focus on right now is bringing some normalcy back to our lives and having school as best we can, and just absorbing, learning, and appreciating the material that your teachers are going to work hard to push out to you. And no fear of what grade you're going to receive if you give an honest effort and get your work done. One of the things that I want to mention here before I get to some of the questions that you've asked is how do we handle our special education and 504 and gifted population here moving forward. And I can tell you that what we're going to do with that is we're going to give it 100%. We're going to try the absolute best that we can as a school district. Our teachers recognize the challenge that's created there. Certainly, some students need and deserve additional supports that may be difficult in an online format, and we recognize that. Again, fortunately, we have Mr. Keith Neese as our special education supervisor, who is really the best in the business, and his staff. They've been working very hard. They met today online to talk about how they could be flexible and work with our students. And let me just say that our learning support staff, special education staff, is going to bend over backwards for families during this time. We're going to do whatever it takes to make sure that those students who need extra help get that extra help, whether it be through our support staff and our aides, our classroom aides, our teachers, our administrators. I would encourage parents, and not just parents of a special needs student, but any parent, if you have any concerns with what your child is learning, how your child is learning, if the material isn't clear, if it's not consistent, I would encourage you to communicate and reach out to your teacher. If you don't get success there, then to reach out to your administrator or myself or Mr. Neese here or Dr. Zona at the central office, and we will try our very best to make sure that this is as pleasant an experience for our students moving forward as possible. We certainly understand the difficulty. We understand the difficulty that this is going to present for some of our students who learn at different rates and learn a little bit differently. It will be a challenge, and we're not naive to that. We understand that, but we are going to do whatever it takes to work with families and students to make sure that content is understood and received, and that those students have an equal opportunity for education moving forward. So with that, and that was a long introduction, but I do have some questions here that students and parents have submitted over the last day or two, and I want to get that information to you at this time. One of the questions that came up over and over is, why now? Why are we starting this online format this week, and why didn't, I'm sorry, for next week, and why didn't we start it in week one? The simple answer to that is there was just a lot of uncertainty. It came at us quickly, and because of the population of students that we have in the district who need some extra supports, we were concerned about equity issues and making that happen equally for all of our students. And we're confident now that we're going to be able to do that. And we're confident that our families are going to understand and be flexible as we move forward in this new reality that we're all exposed to and living in. The next question is, do we have to be online from 8 to 3? And we've addressed that already. No, there are no set times. We just want you to log on daily and get your work done. How will grades be affected was the next question. And will I have a chance to improve my third quarter grade? That's a great question, and something I probably should have mentioned before. Your grades for the third quarter should improve because we're going to go one more week with third quarter. So third quarter will go from the 23rd of March to the 27th of March. So you have 1 week for third quarter grades, and if you receive a passing grade, a 70% or higher, all of those grades will be marked as a 100 in the grade book. So that should do nothing but improve your third quarter, your current third quarter grades, and then those will be merged with what you had at the end of the time, the last day of the third quarter when you left school, and added to to what you accomplish here in this next week. With that, then the fourth quarter will begin on March 30th. Same grading format moving forward. The next question, do I have a reason to believe that school will be closed beyond 2 weeks? I don't have anything in writing for that, but that would be my educated guess. My educated guess would be that we're going to be out of school for a little while longer. I can't say how long until things calm down and we get this pandemic under control in the country, but my hunch is that we will be out of school for a little while longer. A question that we got from many seniors coming in is, am I going to graduate with my class? Yes, you're going to graduate with your class. We are committed to that, and we're going to make sure that happens for our seniors. You're going to graduate on time. One way or another, you're all putting on a cap and gown this year and being recognized for being a graduating senior of the class of 2020. A question we received is about weak internet service at home. Again, if you're not in the need of a hotspot, but you have weak internet service at home, I would ask that you communicate that with your teachers for sure. That's something that they should know. Maybe your work isn't coming in as quickly as maybe they anticipated. Let them know why, and they'll be flexible and understanding with you on that. Will there be live video chat? Not at this time. We don't have a live video chat for courses at this time, but that is something that our IT department is working on, and we're working on implementing should this shutdown go beyond the initial 2 weeks. There was a question about yearbook sales. We understand that because of deadlines, there probably won't be an extension on yearbook sales. But if you haven't ordered a yearbook and you need one, please reach out to either your yearbook advisor or your principal so that they can help you with that. There were several questions about students with IEPs or 504 plans. Again, I think I covered that in my previous comments, but let me reiterate, the communication will be key with that. This is a challenge for us, and we're committed to making it work and adapt to meet every child's need. But again, please communicate with us so that we know if we're not doing something that's working for your child, or if there's something that we could simply do better. A question about expectations for working parents. Boy, I wish that was one that I could answer. I get it. I get that that's a challenge for families. And as I said before, this attempt to bring some normalcy back into our students' lives is something that we feel is in the best interest. And again, we just ask that you as a family do the best you can do, while we as a school district do the very best that we can do as well. Spring break, what's going to happen? Our plan right now is not to cancel spring break. We hope to work very hard over these next 2 weeks with the next week at least, with our online platform, probably a week beyond that online. And actually that might be a good time for a short break. So spring break plans right now are not going to be canceled unless something changes. But again, as I said before, things are changing quickly, and that could change too. So don't hold us to that. There was a question about weighted classes and how that will be impacted. There won't be any impact on weighted classes. They'll be graded the same way they are right now. If you do your assignment and you do it successfully, you're going to get 100% on that assignment, and that'll go into the grade book as 100%, and it'll receive the same weight that it would have otherwise received. One of the last questions here is about tech school. What about ECTS students? Is there a plan for them? Unfortunately, there is no online learning plan for vocational technical students at this time. I can tell you, though, that students will not be penalized for missing tech school. That's certainly not their fault. And I know the tech school is working hard for some solutions up there as well for our students who attend. And lastly, a question that came in a couple of times is this, and what about cheating that is likely to occur? Well, we trust that our students have learned the risks and the pitfalls when it comes to being dishonest and cheating on assignments, and we're going to sort of leave it at that and trust that our families and our students are going to make good decisions moving forward, and we're confident that they are. Right now, I'll use a line that my mom used to use on me all the time, and that is that students would only be cheating themselves. And we ask, again, we're not asking for perfection. We're not asking that you master material and content moving forward. We're simply asking that you try your very best. And in return, we're going to try our very best for you as a school district. And so we're not concerned about that. If students collaborate, whether it be honestly or dishonestly, that's on them. And you're going to get out of it what you put into it. And so we hope that they make the right decision with that. I'm at 21, almost 22 minutes here on my clock. I didn't really want to go that long, but I think I covered most of the information here that was asked of us, and most of the information that I wanted to get out to families. Again, we realize that these are unprecedented times. I know that you realize that. You see everything around you is closed. You're being asked to stay in your homes. None of us signed up for this. It's not what we expected. It's a challenge, and as a school district, right now we don't have to continue to teach. As you know, there are many schools around us who are not. It's a decision that we made as an administrative team, collaborating, discussing, and really deciding what was best for our school community. And we think that we're in the position that we can continue to educate. And that was the charge from the governor, was to do the very best you can, and that's what we're going to do. And with that, the Fairview School District will try its very best here to get information to our kids and continue learning, as different and as difficult and and maybe as challenging as it may be. We're going to try our very best, and we ask you to do the same. And again, understand and appreciate the newness of all this, and the challenges that are presented with online learning. This is why we come to school and have schools and have classrooms, and we're able to collaborate and talk to one another and work things out and work as teams. And we don't really prefer the online environment, and that's why we have the public schools that we have in Pennsylvania. So with that, do not hesitate to ask any questions. My email address is very easy to find on the website, kincade@fairviewschools.org. You can reach out to me via Schoology, send me a message, give me a call. I am available 7 days a week right now. This is not and never has been a 5-day-a-week job for any of our administrative team. We're all available 7 days a week. We'll get questions answered as quickly as we can, as efficiently as we can, and we hope that over the next week this works out well. Again, our anticipation is that it will extend beyond next week. We don't have any clear indication of that yet from the state, but all signs are pointing to a little longer term closure than at least the initial 2 weeks. With that, please try your very best. Give it a shot. Be flexible, and we're here to help. If there's something that we can do, whether it's myself or anyone here at the central office, do not hesitate to call. We are absolutely here to help. We want to help. We want to make this as smooth and seamless for students as possible, and reach out to your teachers. Our teachers are home. They're working from home. But they continue to work, and they're committed to this as well. I can't tell you how many teachers reached out to us yesterday when we put the announcement out that we were going to move forward with this with two thumbs up and said, thank you, this is what we needed. We want to continue to teach our kids. We want to continue to prepare them for the future. And so the Fairview School District's going to try to do that, and we're happy to do that. And don't hesitate with any questions or concerns moving forward. And good luck, and thank you, and we're all in this thing together. And as our quote for the year, the Muhammad Ali quote, "Don't count the days, make the days count," seems awfully fitting right now. We're not going to count the days. We're just going to make these days count, and we're going to do our best. And we know that you are as well. Thank you, folks. Have a good evening, and enjoy your weekend. And let's get back at it next week, Tigers.